This is the Criterion Creeps podcast. And tonight we're talking about Ron. Ron?
What are we talking about?
We're talking about Ron.
Oh.
Captain
Like Ron?
Captain Ron.
Captain Ron?
Yeah.
Are you talking about the Kurt Russell film?
Yeah.
That's a good show, man.
Did you guys know? It was also directed by Akira Kurosawa.
Well, I knew that. I mean, everyone knows that. What are we talking about?
Ron from 1985, directed by Akira Kurosawa. Tagline for this film, RJ. The greatest Shakespeare film.
Wait.
Indeed.
Is that just it? The greatest Shakespeare film?
Yep.
Are they forgetting about Shakespeare in Love? Because that won Academy Awards, man.
It's true.
It did.
It did. And for our YouTube listeners, that weird disembodied voice you're hearing on top of RJ's is Sugarhead. That's it. That's all you need to know. Hi.
Hello.
He hacked in and he's on. We've just accepted it.
Yep.
He knows about Gundams and sandwiches.
Yes, he does. We needed a foremost sandwich authority for this episode, and we could think of no one better than Big Sugarhead here. So if you don't know who he is, you only listen to YouTube. You might have to start listening to the rest of the episodes too, because there's some sandwich talk in there, right, Jared?
And you can hear about 29 delicious recipes from horror films.
Can hear that.
Absolutely.
Can hear some cereal talk from Sugarhead, and
so much.
The biggest thing. I'll pass it off to Sugarhead if he wants to say anything, but we got him here because he has actual experience in feudal Japan. He knows what's going on here. So he was there all that time ago, and a lot of people give a shit for not understanding feudal Japan. So we got one. We got someone to actually clean this up.
A heavy hitter who has nothing but deep respect for Japan and the Japanese people.
Yeah, confirmed.
Indeed.
With Ron, legendary director Akira Kurosawa reimagines Shakespeare's King Lear as a singular historical epic set in 16th century Japan. Majestic in scope, the film is Kurosawa's late-life masterpiece, a profound examination of the folly of war and the crumbling of one family under the weight of betrayal, greed, and the insatiable thirst for power.
What other insatiable thirsts do they have, Jarrett?
Bane statues.
Hey, we never talked about the Bane statue, but I mean it's a Patreon exclusive, and I feel like we'd be remiss if Sugarhead didn't see the Bane statue.
Oh man, that is like very cool.
Oh, don't say that.
Yes, it is.
Actually, no, it's true. You should buy it from RJ. He's selling it at a good price.
Yeah,
hey, a lot of people think that darkness is their ally, but RJ was clearly born in the dark.
Well, you too could be born in the dark for a low price
of $300 American. Anyone listening? Wire that to me.
Not that deep.
Well, it's the same price as a Batman 277, I believe, or something of the sort. Oh. So yeah, if you're listening and you would like a Bane statue signed by myself, Jarrett, Sugarhead, and we might be able to get Akira Kurosawa to sign it as well. We'll try. Low price of $3,000. It's yours. No problem. No problem.
So, Sugarhead, do you know about this Kurosawa? You heard about this guy? You hear about this?
You seen this?
I've heard a little bit about Akira Kurosawa. Yeah,
we have watched. I don't even know what we're at now. A dozen in our creep at this point alone. So I feel like we're like real experts. So just curious where you're coming from.
I've seen a few, not a dozen, less than that. I've seen Rashomon, I've seen High and Low, and I have seen Ikiru, which to me, when I watched Ikiru, I thought that was one of the best movies ever. That's a great movie.
You've never seen Seven Sam?
I haven't seen basically any of Kurosawa's samurai movies, which is why I thought this one would be a great one to hop in on.
Okay.
I
At the end of
Yeah.
his career, yeah.
And this is his last movie, right? And then he died.
No, he made one more, Dreams. I think he actually might have even made one more after that in the 90s.
This is his last big one.
Yeah, Dreams is pretty
Big too.
like is also kind of well regarded as well. But yeah, Ran's like I think his last samurai movie, Ran.
Okay. But yeah, Ron. So I think you've seen all the big ones except for maybe Seven Samurai, which is fine. Like High and Low is super super good. That's peak stuff. And then I would be curious to see what you think of Seven Samurai, because I have on record as being a big supporter of that, where Jarrett is so. But it's a big boy. It's a chonky boy. It's like, what is it, 3.5 hours?
Yeah.
Seven Samurai?
About that.
It's fucking long. So it's a whole day event, but I really like it. Most people do. Jarrett's wishy-washy, but a good one. So yeah, this is a good one to jump on for a first samurai flick, I think. Do you like Kurosawa? Do you think he's a nice guy, or do you think he's a not nice guy?
Oh man, if I say he's a nice guy, I feel like Jarrett is gonna pull up something where he round pets or something, and I'm gonna look really foolish.
That
Classic Jarrett. Just be like,
Yeah.
well, so you like Kurosawa, huh?
Well, that only happened about 5 times today when Reese, Sugar here was just like, yeah, this guy's not bad. And Jared's like, well, did you know?
Yeah,
in
let me tell you about
1982,
how he's in with QAnon. Yeah.
he sneezed on an old person intentionally, and then he started QAnon. And then we go, oh, shit. That's it. All shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah, we watched a lot of these.
how about that? How about Bill Shakespeare? Shitty Bill Shakespeare, as it turns out.
Yeah, what do you think about Shitty Bill, Reese? Are you a fan?
I'm on record as being a Shakespeare supporter, though I haven't really read anything of his since like high school. Actually didn't read King Lear in high school, but like Hamlet is awesome. Romeo and Juliet and Romeo and Juliet, the Baz Luhrmann movie, both awesome. Yep. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I like Shakespeare. I think the stories are, used today because they're still as relevant as they were back then. So yeah, I'm down with Shakespeare.
People like their themes and their hubris.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, there's something to that too. Like Shakespeare, I know some people really die for Shakespeare, and it's like, yeah, I get it. I mean, I never was huge into it.
Just don't watch those Laurence Olivier movies.
Well, yeah, don't watch those ones. But I do agree with you. There's a reason they continue to get replicated, because we as people, we tend to repeat behaviors and over long periods of time and generations, and that's why these stories are somewhat timeless, to sound weird and lame. But yeah, it's like, you ever seen Sons of Anarchy? That's totally Shakespeare, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
You ever seen that?
It really is.
It really is.
With my boy Charles Hunnam.
Charlie Hunnam.
It is quite the thing, just seeing RJ sneeze on mute.
I don't know if you could tell, but holy shit, my headphones came off. That was a powerful sneeze.
Hell of a thing. So this film, this Kurosawa film, just in case we've chased off anybody who wanted to hear a serious take on this movie, potentially.
Get out of here.
King Lear. I've never read it. RJ, how you liking that Lear?
I read it almost every month, once a month at least.
Yeah, you're into leering, huh?
Yeah. Oh, I'm big learer over here.
Mm-hmm.
Big learer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I've never read King Lear. I think I've only actually read a couple Shakespeare things, probably Macbeth. because of high school, and then maybe one or two others, but not a lot. I know Shakespeare stories, but I've never actually read a ton because, Old English is difficult. And some people will be like, it's not hard, and it's like, no.
Well,
not
RJ,
easy.
It's not Old English.
Shakespearean English. Is that what you wanted to hear? Yeah, I'm Rob English right now. That's how he talks.
Of course.
Anyways,
of course. So this movie, it opens out on a grassy field. There is a hunt, hunting some game, some boar, I think. Yeah. And then we transition to like a tea. Everyone's having some drink and a little picnic. There's lots of primary colors. There's the old lord, and he's being met with like kind of two underlords, and then there's three other men in primary colors that we're going to learn are his sons, from old to young. The deal here is that these two underlords have daughters, and they want to marry them off to the next available son, which is son number 2. And it's like, well, yeah, the old man, he's got to have a think about this because he's starting to come and go. He's starting to nod off in mid-sentence. There's a little interlude we get with the court jester, who, man, oh man, this stuff sometimes. I don't know if this is no theater stuff, but it just makes me go, what is this all about? He's like looking off into the distance, and everyone turns their head because it's old timey entertainment. This was this guy's the Jim Carrey RJ of his time.
I mean, few people could achieve that. You got to remember, Jarrett, they don't have TVs. They don't got 4K in feudal Japan. There's no 4K there, bud.
Mm-hmm. No 4K.
No 4K. You really got to sell this stuff because if you don't, they'll see through that, and then you're done. Your career is done as court jester. That's a much sought after career, buds.
It's not too bad.
Buds.
Not too bad.
Mm-hmm.
So Hidatora, that's our King Lear, the Lord. He's being presented with these choices, and I guess he goes to have a nappy poo.
A what?
A nappy poo.
Oh, okay, is that like a boom boom or
no? No boom boom involved. But I don't know. He is wearing white robes, so I guess that would have been an issue if it had happened, but it did not.
Yeah.
And then I think is it the youngest son who cuts some branches and makes him a nice little umbrella canopy, so he doesn't get all sunburned.
Maybe.
Or is it Taro, the youngest son?
Probably wouldn't be Taro. Probably wouldn't be the middlest one. It's probably
Saburo.
Saburo, because he is the best one. He's the most outspoken.
Yeah, he's the one that best. Yeah, he's the Cordelia of our set piece here.
What do you mean by Cordelia?
That's in King Lear RJ. It's not 3 sons, it's 3 daughters.
What?
I know it gets very confusing. And these lords, their stand-ins, was it the Lord of Gloucester? Oh fuck, England. Gloucester.
Damn.
And then there's I'm sure there's an Earl somewhere. There always is.
There's always an Earl.
Yeah.
Maybe even a Duke or 2. You know what I mean?
Or 3. So there's some good costume designs going on here. We got some primary colors. The jester's kind of wearing like quite the 80s outfit. Aesthetically. And then the other 2 lords, there's one in black, there's one in gray, and then Hidero is in white. Do you think that means anything, or it's just like that looks nice? I think it's really just about how nice that looks.
Are you trying to say that there's a metaphor of some kind in there?
I'm absolutely not saying that.
Good. I wouldn't want you to say that.
Well, it turns out
it's also so you can like
pick out who's who.
Yes.
Do you think he was thinking about us Americans, us Canadians, that maybe be like, I don't know who's who?
Oh no! Like I mean, like their armies and stuff to differentiate between
the color coding.
The color coding, yeah.
I think
just like you would have a flag or something. Yeah.
I guess yeah. I mean, I just think of it as like cinematic.
Oh, and it looks nice. Yeah.
Yeah, because that. I mean, what's his name? Umbrellas of Cherbourg or whatever, and I don't know. Probably the movies that Kurosawa was watching and loved and whatever. Like, you use primary colors. It's pretty easy if you can pull it off in a movie. Shooting in color, it looks great. Everyone loves that La La Land, right?
Allegedly.
Well, so King Lear wakes up and he's got a great idea. And
what's his idea?
He's gonna give everything away. He's not even gonna wait till he's dead. He's gonna carve everything up now while the getting's good. And he is going to, instead of the deal in King Lear where he wants his daughters to like sweet talk him and tell him how fawn over him, he's just going to split it up 3 ways. Or I guess he's going to give it to Taro, the eldest son, and then they're all going to figure it out kind of between the 3 of them. Well, that's not going to work great, is it?
Yeah. Well, yeah, he divvies it up, but he says, "Oldest guy, you're the guy."
Well, which is not atypical.
Uncommon.
It's like the eldest son kind of becomes the next in the lineage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
makes sense to me.
But
that's how this podcast worked.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. From Papa Pod.
Wow. Yeah, there's Grandpa Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Joe Podcast. He's the one who started it. And now we're here, and now we're trying to pass the reins on to Sugarhead.
So, yeah.
Take over.
So the idea that Hidetora introduces, Saburo's like, this is a terrible idea. This isn't going to work at all. And, of course, Hidetora being like, what are you doing? You're supposed to be my kid. You got to respect everything I say because I'm your dad. And even, I can't remember which underling it is. The advisor, that is Kurogane? No, that's the wrong one.
I think his name is Keith.
Keith? Big Keith?
Yeah, I know it's a strange name.
Tango.
For like,
Tango.
Feudal.
Tango, yeah.
Tango. So Tango, he's also like, hey, you pay me to tell you the truth here, bud. And it's like, you shouldn't be like, talking about disowning your other son and doing anything like this. That's just nuts. Like, you're not thinking straight.
Mm-hmm.
Cool it. And he's like, well, enough of this. And he turns his back, and that basically ends our first scene.
Yeah.
And
then the next scene, things are in motion.
Things are like, it's happened. It's all gone down, and Hidetora is living the life. He gets to retire. He's got his little retinue of 30 or 40 guys that he gets to hang out with forever. But he's still in the mind that, like, well, I'm still in charge. I'm still Papa Pod, so I can kind of still do what I want. However, it turns out that he's kind of just relegated himself to a living ghost, as he now gets to watch as everything he's worked toward begins to fall apart before his eyes, and you get to see his sons turn to real pieces of shit.
Like Duncan style, or
absolutely body pillow action. Yeah.
Yeah, body pillow, bad dude kind of stuff here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which body pillow would do you think Kurosawa would have had? If he could have had a body pillow of any kind, what do you think it would have been? This is a big question.
Oscar.
Kurosawa would have had an Oscar body pillow?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that checks out. I can't argue that.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. So, yeah, the Taro, as soon as he gets a little bit of that power, he just starts being like, no, I'm in charge. And I won't even take a little bit more of that power. And so his, obviously the retinue of men hanging out with, not King Lear, they are having problems with their new lord's men. There's some scraps in the courtyards. They even go to kill the jester who's still palling around. And just before he's about to get got, that dude gets arrowed by Hidetoro. And it's get this big zoom in. He's like hanging out of that window.
That
pretty
seems
cool.
awesome. Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah. And of course, this is a problem. It's like you can't just go around killing my men. I mean, they were just going to kill that jester a little bit. I mean, what are you doing here? And so he's like, "Yeah, you got to go. You're getting you're alive, and that's a problem. So it's going to send you packing." My note here was like, "Hey, maybe this whole system of rules sucks." It's just like, yeah.
Do you mean monarchy, Jarrett?
Yeah.
Monarchy is bad? Okay.
Well, I mean, we'll have to ask Rob English about that someday. I mean,
yeah. I mean, he's still under that. You got to be careful. They're going to read his emails if he's talking down to the monarchy.
They might send him to the Tower of London.
They're going to send him somewhere, bud. Somewhere you don't want to be.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to be there. That's for sure.
Oh, no one wants to be there. Yeah, in England. Yeah. It's been wildly confirmed on this podcast. Nobody wants to go to England.
Well,
nobody.
I've definitely said that there's no sensuality there.
I mean, I know that's why you don't want to go, because you feel that there's no sensual eroticism in England. No, I don't want to go for different reasons.
I'm fine for going. It's just going to be a gray morass of misery and suffering. That's my speed. But I mean, you could be like, a little sensual with that, right? Don't just wallow in the filth. Don't be a Mike Lee film.
I think the biggest issue is, how do you make gums sensual? Because that's what you get a lot of over in England. A lot of gums.
Just corn pops.
Regular corn pops, or yeah, potentially. Okay.
So the Lord, he goes to son number 3.
Yeah. Okay. No. He goes to the first one. He gets upset. Then he goes to the second son.
Yeah. He goes. It's
and
like
the second son's got his own plots.
He's got his own scheming and plots. He's like, I can't live with my older brother. He's an asshole. I want to be the asshole. But we get a very fine piece of action, big battle storytelling. Around this point, which is for me the highlight of the whole movie, is this one whole sequence of Taro's attack on Brother Two's castle.
It's pretty dope scene.
Pretty good. This is quite the bloodbath. We get all the kind of not samurai action exactly. This is just like soldier fighting and just blood, like literally blood, very watery blood, just pouring down. People getting arrows to the eyes, people walking around with arms. Death abounds, and it looks great.
Yes, it does.
It's pretty interesting, just like how gray everything is. The buildings, the sky, and then like when there's these big explosions of red or fire, and it makes total sense. It's kind of like, This seems to be slept on a lot in movie making. I don't know if it's because it's hard, or it's like, oh, Ron already did that. Don't want to do it again.
Maybe they just got to film in England where it's already gray, and then no matter what they do, it's going to pop.
Mm-hmm. So we get some Western classical music over the mayhem. I wrote some pretty sweet ass ghoul cinema here. With all the just like there's piles of dead bodies, fully realized. You're just like, huh? I didn't know the old man had it in him.
How old was he?
He was like 73.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Pretty old.
Pretty good. So yeah, that happens. Taro gets killed. Older brother is dead. He's accidentally killed.
Sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, and what was wild about that was like, it just kind of happened.
Yeah.
It was like
off camera.
It was basically like they just showed it for a second, and that was it. And I was like, hold on, that's one of the main guys. Come on. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You said I thought we would be alerted of this a little bit more.
Yeah, exactly.
Not the case.
A little bit of pageantry there.
And I guess one of the center images of this too is like Hidatoro is in this castle as it is just being like destroyed and people are being slaughtered. He's just sitting there just with this expression of like he's just zoned out or mortified by how everything's turned out. This is where that the title of the film comes up, which is Chaos or Turmoil in English.
I thought it was because everyone ran a lot in this movie. Is that not why this movie is called what it is?
There's a little bit of running.
There's a
lot of sauntering.
There's a lot of. You remember when the old man runs off like near the end, off into the just out in the fields? There's a lot of running in that scene, Jarrett.
Yeah. Horses.
Yeah, I don't want to like rattle any cages, but that's a lot of running.
Okay. All right.
You know what I mean?
So then brother number 2, he goes to take his place as the lord of the land back at castle number 1, and he gets to meet Lady Macbeth, essentially, who was married to Taro, and she's like ready to kill this guy for killing her husband unless she tells him exactly what happened or who killed her husband. And we started getting but of course one of the problems is that she wants to like saddle up to this new guy, but he's married, so she starts scheming on how to get rid of this problem, this other wife.
What's the problem?
Well, you gotta be only married to one woman, so she can pull the strings, RJ.
Gotcha.
So she's encouraging brother number 2 to push harder, faster, get revenge on that old man, that lord. We got to seal the deal. We got to seize all the power.
How much?
All the power.
Okay. Gotcha.
And then I don't know, the rest of the movie kind of plays out from there. As he moves down he finds his son number 3, Tango. They reconvene, Hidatoro is like completely out of his mind. He's all in shock at all the things that have happened. He again, like I said before, he's a ghost he gets to be damned to watch everything happen instead of just being dead, I guess, and not worrying about things anymore. He gets to see everything that he built up turn to shit because he should have known better, or just wrote things out at the time. And kind of like a lot of Shakespeare, everyone kind of winds up dead or maimed, unless you're an ancillary character, then you're fine. It pays to be the court jester sometimes.
Yeah, totally. The words that you said, auxiliarily. Yeah, those are totally words I use.
All the time.
Yeah.
So, Ron, what did I think about this movie? It feels very much like Kagemusha to me.
Kagemusha?
Kagemusha. The ending, kind of, it just felt like a big battle. I felt like the movie peaked with the previous big, beautiful battle, and this was battle number 2. I will say that, as I mentioned in the preamble, I was watching this on Prime, and I felt that the transfer on there was pretty mediocre. It didn't seem like it had a lot of the detail that I know is in there, and so a lot of the cinematography felt weirdly flat. And then, getting ready for this episode, I watched the trailer for the 4K restoration of Ran that just came out, and it looks amazing. Like, it looks so good, and the everything's just, I don't know. I'm kind of a little annoyed that I did not have that in my hands because it just came out yesterday, and we had to watch this before yesterday. So
how many pixels are in 4K?
All the pixels.
All of them?
Yep.
Are pixels good?
They are pretty nice.
How many bits?
Everything just I'm not sure what this what this transfers from. It probably was like a DVD that Studio Canal loaned out to Amazon, and they ripped it and they compressed it a little bit for streaming purposes. Because I know this is supposed to look I think a lot better than it does, and it still looks good. I'm not going to bury that whole part, but for the reputation that this movie has for the use of colors like that, and that's the same with Kagemusha. I feel like, I don't know, it seemed a little flat. And then I watched this trailer for like 2 minutes, and I went, oh, this looks so much better. These scenes with the horses and the close-ups and the actions layouts look so much better just in this trailer than it did in the whole movie I just watched.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I've never read King Lear, and I often find that the Shakespeare that I've read is always, the movies are always better enjoyed as movies if I've read the source material, and I've never read King Lear, so I don't know the real beats beyond what I'm skimming on Wikipedia as I kind of went along watching this, being like, okay, so who's this supposed to be? Of course, the Earl of Gloucester, the Earl of Kent, the Duke of Albany, and it's like, of course,
who could forget
the King of France, the Duke of Burgundy.
I mean, those are some of my best guys. Who could forget them?
Remember Edmund? Oh, who could forget?
Wow,
yes,
one of the top. And do you remember that remake they made of Edmund with what was that?
William H. Macy.
Fuck that movie.
Stuart Gordon.
God, that movie's so stupid. I hate it.
It's so good.
It sucks. Well, anyways, what about Edmund?
Remember him?
Yeah, I remember Edmund with William H. Macy. I didn't like it much. Mm-hmm. Which character is Edmund in this?
Good question. Maybe he didn't get transferred over. Oh no, that's not true. That is
Tango.
It's actually RJ. It is, in fact, the Lady Macbeth, Lady Cade, Taro's wife, is the Edmund.
She is Edmund.
In King Lear, it's the illegitimate son.
Gotcha.
Oh, yeah. How about that? See, it would pay to have read King Lear after all. Because I'd be like, of course, I know it's the Earl of Gloucester's illegitimate son. How could you not know that, idiot?
Well, who doesn't? Is what I wanted.
Me, I didn't know that.
Oh,
yeah. So anyway,
well, you're an idiot.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's true. It's true.
Sure.
Sam, I'm pretty medium on this movie.
Okay.
It's holding up the streak of how a lot of these Kurosawa epics are for me. They're just don't connect for me. I feel like the storytelling isn't as strong as one would be led to believe.
Sure.
And sometimes I wonder, I'm like, I think this could have been shot in a different way to be a little bit more engaging, which could be blasphemous, but I'm going to stand by it because I don't know. I think it's not a unsensible thing to think.
Sure.
But I don't know. I don't know, but we can talk about it. What did you two? We'll start with Sugarhead because RJ likes to go last.
Okay.
What do you think of this movie?
That is customary. Yeah.
RJ's a coward. Is the problem?
Yeah. Whoa.
I like to give the special guest the time that they need. So sometimes if they want to go a little long, I can get my stuff out in shorter fashion. It's the gentleman's approach.
Well, thank you. Yes.
That's what it is.
So, first thing, there's a lot of people falling off horses in this movie, and I don't think they were falling onto pads. I think those dudes really fell off horses onto the ground. It looked like it hurt.
Yeah, horses are big. Horses are really big, and to fall off of one,
and they were getting shot off and falling onto the ground at full speed. And I just want to say that's filmmaking.
That is dedication.
That's cinema. That is cinema.
Yeah.
But no, I thought that this movie looks great. I'll go against the Jarrett take on this one and say that I think that the flatness of how it's filmed, everything is kind of flat. I think that might have been intentional.
I
I
don't
think
think
that
it is. I think it's the print.
I
think-
agree with Sugar. I think it
I
is.
think that it's kind of
Yeah.
storyboarded out in such a way that it's like almost like a woodblock painting or like a play, right? Like this is a Shakespearean thing, and everything is taking place in that kind of a mid to long shot, right? So you've got that going on, and it's all kind of in one depth of field. So to me, I think this movie is shot really nicely. I would say it's a really nice looking movie. And I would also say that the use of color, even though it might not be like an 8K print, is I think it's pretty nice. So like the blood in that one kind of iconic battle scene, that to me reminded me of like a Dario Argento, like that color of blood, that like red paint blood. It was
it's very
again like against the gray background. It's spectacular,
yeah,
right?
it's movie blood of the era. It's not trying to go for like realistic, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was really cool. I also think like in Shakespeare plays and stuff, oftentimes like the characters that have the most to say about things are like the minor ones, right? So like in Romeo and Juliet, I remember talking about like Friar Lawrence, who like helps them out to do their little plan and stuff. And I think in this movie, the character that is kind of like, when I watched it, I was like, why did they even include this guy in the movie? And it's the blind guy, the Surumaru, who they come upon his little hut midway through the movie, and he's like, go away, I don't want to take anybody in. And he's blind. And we find out that he's blind because of what, what's his name? Hidatora. He like burned down his castle and blinded this guy on purpose. And so now this guy lives in a hut outside, like way far away. So his life sucks because of what this Hidatora guy did. So like, I guess it just kind of illustrates that there's like good and bad, more bad than good, I suppose, in this empire type family. So like, I guess with it being based on a Shakespearean tragedy, that's kind of to be expected, that you would have a not really sympathetic protagonist, this Hidatora guy. So yeah, I think that the blind guy who at the end is kind of stuck up on that cliff, right? That's kind of a image that stuck with me and was like, well, this is kind of like this guy's whole life is being completely destroyed by these stupid people who are fighting all the time, and he just gets caught in the crossfire of it. So that's kind of what I thought about it, and I think it's a really like nice looking movie. It's potentially a little long. It is a slow burn, I would say, to begin with. I think I'm not gonna lie, this was a two-nighter for me. This was this takes some time to dig into. It didn't cross the threshold into a three-nighter, but yeah, this took two. So yeah, I thought it was quite good. As far as like, is it better than the other Kurosawa that I've seen? I don't really know how to compare it because this is one of the only samurai movies I've seen. But yeah, it was enjoyable. I think, in reflection. And Jarrett has sent me a comparison of the flaming castle from the battle, and I think the colors are just like, it's more muted, like, and kind of grainy.
Well, it's like it's completely grainy, like between the two.
Like,
but like
Jarrett,
look how sharp. Look how sharp.
That could just be that should just be the JPEG though.
No, that is his direct screenshot.
Yeah, that's a JPEG though, you know.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Jarrett's got a real axe to grind here. He's really been championing 4K to us because we are the two guys who I think have kind of been like, we don't really care.
Yeah,
but Jarrett's really trying to make that land.
Well, I'm just trying to point out the fact that when we're talking about color, that transfers can be very important. Here's another couple where it's like these are completely two different sets of colors from two different prints. And I think they're actually both. So one's let's see here, the really bright one is actually a Blu-ray, and the one below that, or right beside it, it's like a little bit like the white is not bright white. That's actually the British
bluer,
4K. Yeah, but like look at the difference of that. Like it's not the same. But these are both different releases, and I'm saying that the version on Prime is not great. It felt off to me, and I was like, huh. Okay. And I couldn't get past it to really enjoy probably how really beautiful this movie looks. And then like when I saw this trailer, I went, oh my god, this looks so much better. And it's like I shake my hands at the fact that everything's about streaming nowadays, and and it sucks.
True. But also consider this. I, at one point, watched movies that were shot on video, and I didn't realize that was different from things like 4K. Now, I mean, that might be saying more about me than I should say, but I didn't realize there was a difference because I went, yeah, movie.
But the question is, RJ, when did you realize that Hidetaro was played by two different actors?
Wait, what? No way. Are you kidding me?
No. Almost every movie since the what was that movie called? Discreet.
The Obscure Object of Desire.
Obscure Object of Desire. I swear, and I'm not the only one, because people have openly commented on the YouTube that they also did not realize that those were two actresses in that movie. Okay, but I'm pretty sure at one point Howie Mandel was playing Hidetaro for a moment, and this was in between when he was on set with Little Monsters, which we talked about earlier.
And the actor playing Hidetaro had fallen off one of those horses, broke his leg, and so they were like, well, we got to do this scene. So they're like, we got to get Howie in.
We got to get Howie Mandel in here. He's the only guy that fits the bill.
It's right on the IMDb trivia. Just don't look it up.
Yeah, just don't look it up. Don't look it up.
No.
Yeah, so anyways, Jarrett's a big supporter of 4K. I'm a big supporter of shot on video. Same thing in my books.
Oh, you like movies like Orlov the Mutilator?
Yeah, that one's pretty good. Was Video Violence shot on video?
It sure was. See, but that's the intent. That's like what it's supposed to look like. It's never going to look that much better. I don't really need those restored. Film though, man, when the option's there, it'd be good. It'd be nice, you know.
Yeah, it happens.
It'd be
but
nice.
Anyways, so Jarrett's a little here. Reese a little here. Do you got anything else you want to add to that, Reese?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's hard to rate this or rank this. I enjoyed it. It is, again, a long movie, but I wouldn't say that it's like that really takes away from it. Like,
is that your Letterboxd review? You can drop like, I don't know, like a 4.5 star on it, but you say this is a long movie.
I mean, I think everybody can see that it is a long movie.
Yeah, they can check. They can hit that display on the remote, and it'll say, "Hey, this is a long movie." It doesn't even tell you the runtime.
Exactly. Like,
I would love if that was your gimmick, though. That was your Letterboxd account. Anything over 90 minutes, this is a long movie.
And sometimes this is a long, or this is sometimes a longer movie, but it's not long.
Yeah.
Like,
or then sometimes quite short.
Not bad. Or the movies that are right at 90, you go just right.
Just right.
Just
Yeah,
right.
I feel like
adequate length.
Yeah.
If I had to pick things that could be cut out, it is that last, 40% of it, right? Like I feel like the climax with that battle, and then the kind of aimless wandering afterwards, it does add to the story, but I feel like you could probably watch it and maybe get the same thing out. And the last battle as well between the two sons. And I mean, that ends up with, I believe it's Saburo winning the battle. So yeah, I feel
gotta
like
finish the story, right?
it does end rather abruptly for something that's been building for that long. So that's all.
Right.
It's quite long. It's really rather long.
Rather long. But that shouldn't take away from it.
I hear you. What were you going to say, Jarrett?
Oh, I'm actually looking at the IMDb trivia, and here's a nice one. Akira Kurosawa told Sidney Lumet he chose to frame a shot because if he moved the camera an inch to the left, the Sony factory would be seen. If he moved the camera to the right, the audience would see an airport.
Is that trivia?
Yep.
Well, that seems intentional.
That
Jarrett.
sounds very trivial.
Oh, now you're crossing hairs, my man. Crossing hairs a little bit.
Almost the entire film is done in long shot, and there are only a handful of close-ups, such as when the Lady Kade is presented with the head of a fox statue.
Oh,
So-
also the scene that is so awesome is at the end where I think it's Kurogane. He walks into the place where this Lady Kade is and just pulls out his sword and blood goes all over the wall.
Yeah,
I was
Very nice.
that's pretty cool. That's a pretty nice scene.
That's a Tarantino blood squirt right there.
Yeah, right?
Mm.
I got another one to try out for, because RJ will get to you. Don't you worry.
Oh, okay.
Akira Kurosawa's eyesight had deteriorated almost completely by the time principal photography began. He could only frame shots with the help of assistants who used his storyboard paintings as guidelines.
So he was old.
Yeah.
Yeah, people get old. Yeah. Stuff stops working, You ever been there? It happens.
Mm-hmm.
It happens.
RJ,
Yeah.
what did you think of Ran?
Let me tell you. So I just remembered that fox head thing. I knew what that was because, believe it or not, I read Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and that is a character in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Is the fox lady?
RJ, before we get to you, I think we need to hear from Sugarhead how this movie reflected his own experience of being in Japan.
True. People want to know.
Well,
Is it accurate?
believe it or not, I did not go to Japan in the 1600s or whenever this was.
16th century, give or take.
In 16th
This
century.
podcast is over. We've
Okay,
been misled.
sorry.
We've been misled.
And I don't have the in-depth insider knowledge of feudal Japan that I know the listeners so desire.
You can just start making things up.
It's true.
Yeah,
make it up.
like
They're not gonna know.
when I went to Japan, there were cool subways and nice
Cool
toilets
vending machines?
and
Cool vending machines.
awesome vending machines, a lot of Pokemon stuff, roller coasters. It was very modern. Some might say hyper modern. So no swords, no samurai.
So the police weren't carrying around swords.
That's right.
Were there any lightsabers though?
Potentially.
Here and there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Huge.
fair.
But
That's-
Huge.
I don't have a ton of insight on whether or not Ron is a theme park now in Japan. Though I did see that they built that whole castle on site. It's not
That's cool.
not another castle that they were just shooting at. But yeah, so I don't know. That's all.
That's
That's
it.
super cool. Yep. Well, there you have it, folks. We had a actual Japan expert authority here, and my takeaway from that was that we're pretty much right on track with him, even though neither of us have been there. So I think the debate is over. We know Japan. We got it.
No.
We know Japan. Okay. Anyways, Jarrett, you want to hear what I thought of this movie?
Yes, please.
Okay. So, Ron, as Jarrett mentioned, we've watched a lot of Akira Kurosawa's. We've watched lots of samurai movies just in general on this Criterion run that we've been on. So I've had my fair share.
It's been a wild ride.
It's been a wild ride. I watched the Amazon Prime one, and I mean, I thought it looked good. I didn't have an issue with that. So I thought it looked good, and I mean, I think, to quote The Matrix once again, ignorance is bliss. If you don't know there's a 4K, maybe you're just gonna feel like this version is fine. That's how I felt. But yeah, I like the Shakespearean samurai stuff. We've watched probably like 3 Shakespearean samurai stories, maybe more than that. Sure.
Throne of Blood.
Throne of Blood. Is that it? I felt like there was more.
Go on.
Maybe not. But anyways, Throne of Blood I liked a lot, and I actually do like Ron quite a bit. Ron's a cool movie. I think Shakespeare translates to the samurai stuff really, really well, and I'm not sure what it was. Like, I don't know if it's just that they were close in era or something, but like, I think the dynamics with the people is a really clean kind of slide from old Rob English Shakespeare stuff to Kurosawa Japan. Like, it just, I don't know, it fits really well. And like what Reese said earlier too, some of these stories these are just things that people experience very frequently and like recurring. So it's just like, yeah, these stories are popular for a reason. It's because people see themselves in this, and they see other people in this. And like what you're saying, where the power of some people like can completely like ruin other people's lives, like that guy who just has no eyeballs and just lives in that shack because it's just like, yeah, other people were doing other shit, and this guy took the hit for them, and it's like, I get it. So I like that stuff quite a bit. Action scenes are awesome. I do really like. So Jarrett sent me the 4K trailer, and I was watching it, and it was on mute. But the one thing that really stood out to me was not that it was just 4K, but it actually kind of showed it a little bit nicer. All of the gunfire in like the trees and the towers and stuff like that, like all of the rifles just constantly going off, like that looks awesome. Those are really cool effects. The horse stuff, like those dudes falling off of the horses. There was a point where someone just got hit by a horse. Like the person was on the ground and a horse runs through them. Horses are enormous, and I think I've been on record stating that I don't really like horses. My family, we have horses, and I get really nervous around them, and they can tell when you're nervous, and then they get like skittish, and it makes everything worse. And I don't love being around horses just because they're fucking enormous, and they will like knock your head off if they want to. Like, they'll just kick your head clean off your body, and it's just like, yeah, we shouldn't use horses in this way. But anyways, I like the Shakespeare to the samurai stuff. I think it works really well. Colors are, I like the color pops in this stuff. The action is good. Is this the best samurai movie we've seen? No, I don't think so. Like, we've seen a lot of better ones, but this is a very good samurai movie, and I like
better
the
than many of the recent ones we've seen.
Well, what did we do? What was it, a 4-pack we just went through?
Well, Samurai Rebellion was like, that's like more like a samurai movie. This is, I don't know if does this even have samurais in it? That's the thing.
I mean, not really. It just takes place
it's a period piece. Yeah, it's a Japanese period piece, but I don't know if it falls into like the samurai thing other than it's like, well, it's got Japanese guys with swords. It's got to be samurais.
I mean,
I don't know. It's a weird line.
for some people, that'll fit the bill.
Yeah.
But, no, yeah, I like Ron. I think it's a good show. Like I said, is it my favorite? No. But it's a good show. It's pretty good. Nice stuff. Good stuff going on. And I don't think I got a whole lot else other to say than that. Pretty good show. My dudes.
Pretty good show.
Pretty good show. So that's it.
That's that.
That's that.
Man vs. Man.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, I've been waiting to say that.
You've been saving it up.
Yeah.
That's that, Mattress Man.
You guys want to hear from people who hate Captain Ron?
Why not? Who can hate Kurt Russell? He's a good dude.
All right. First of all, we have Balal Pathula. Half a star.
Oh, of course.
Such a boring film I ever watched. I hate you, Akira Kurosawa.
Okay.
I hate you.
I mean, they've tasted. Yeah, they hate Akira Kurosawa personally. Taste of Cherry is one of their favorite films, and Taste of Cherry is a good movie, but that's boring too. So like, not great. This person likes Seventh Walk, Siva Puranam, Amos Piros, and Itu Mama Tambian. So I feel like those are all boring movies. But anyways, I know you guys are sorting out some stuff.
Well, I got.
You guys want to do?
I don't know if do you want to read a short one or a long one, Shug?
I'll read a long one.
Okay. Well, I've got a short one then before that. Bella Tar is God. More like walk. Because it's slow.
See, that was my thought. Like, if I really hated it, I was going to write something like that. And now it's kind of played out. This person, yeah. Jeez.
This is their entire gimmick. So they just rated Shang-Chi, Legend of the Ten Rings, more like Sean Hyperbole. They just rated Venom, more like Anti-Venom. Popular reviews, AI, Artificial Intelligence, they put more like Artificial Stupidity. So it's a thing that they do. It's a thing that they do. This is a good one, actually. For Near Dark, they put more like Nerd Dork. I kind of like that one.
That's pretty
that
RJ-esque.
I'm on board with that one, and I also like more. I also like more like Walk. It's fine with me. It's fine with me.
I am disappointed to see that Gremlins for Life hasn't gotten around to Ron.
I was really hoping that they would somehow they would know that we found them, like, because I followed them, and I'm sure that maybe one or two other people probably did after listening, and I was hoping they would connect the dots, but it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
Damn.
Unfortunately, no gremlins in this one.
No, 0 stars.
Yeah. Not a single gremlin.
Not a single gremlin, and they might have pointed out there would have been a lot of opportunity for gremlins too, because there's castles. There's a lot of little secret parts in castles. No. Could have happened.
Someone point out that Gremlins for Life follows no one, and we're the only two people who have followed them recently. So
they should have figured it out.
Should have figured it out. Tim Pullman, take it away, Sugarhead.
I gotta find this.
Oh my god!
Oh, did you have your own one that you wanted to read?
No. Here we go. Tim Pullman, 1 out of 5 stars. The siege of the castle is the only good scene in this movie. My first Kurosawa movie, and now I really don't have the need to watch other movies of him. Man, this was so boring. I had to drag myself through the movie. That's TRUE. For a lot of people, amazing, but I didn't feel it. Too bad. 1 out of 5. Yeah. So this guy, let's see here.
Oh, you're gonna do the whole deal? Good.
Yeah. I'm gonna.
Can you read their bio, Sugarhead? Because I think that's really important.
Yeah. So the bio for this guy is: I grew up with watching movies with my dad when I was young. Oh god. He is a great movie lover too. How older I got.
It's good.
How older I got, how bigger the love for movies grew. Oh,
It's
Ow.
good.
All right.
good.
So Tim's favorite movies are Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, The Godfather, and The Terminator. So the love for movies grew bigger. That's
The older they got, the bigger the love. None of those are bad movies, but it is weird that Two Towers is their favorite of the Lord of the Rings movie. Like, I feel like no one has Two Towers as their favorite Lord of the Rings movie, but I don't know. Maybe that's just me speaking. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I like this person, whoever Tim Pullman is.
Pullman.
Tim Pullman, you're a good dude. You're a good dude. I like it.
Notably, he gave Venom 2 3.5 stars.
Oh,
It's pretty generous.
interesting.
Yeah.
It's also one of Paul Thomas Anderson's favorite films of the last year. So
Yep.
then maybe there's something to this Venom 2 that none of us have seen yet. So
I mean,
we got to get on that.
for all we know, this could be Paul Thomas Anderson's account.
I think if anything, Paul Thomas. Yeah, that's gonna be Paul.
Just think about that for a moment. This is it. This is it.
Tim Pullman is PTA.
Yeah.
He said the older I got, the larger the film love grew. Whatever that was. Good stuff.
And
Good
one
stuff.
more, Basim Ahmad. This movie is so draggy. God damn it! I wanted to punch myself while watching it from how numb I was feeling. It's so overacted that it became devoid of any human emotion, and the war scenes are just a clusterfuck that my eyes actually hurt. It's so boring. Who even gives a fuck about those characters, if you even can call them that? They're radios just spewing dialogue. I couldn't finish it in a single sitting. I actually paused it for 3 days. I couldn't get myself to finish it till now.
Wow. I don't know, Sugar. If you got it up, you're welcome to read their profile.
1 second here.
I'll just read you their little bio first. They said art, or not bio, but their quote: "Art attracts us only by what it reveals of our most secret self."
They don't.
Pretty powerful.
They
pretty
don't.
powerful stuff.
They don't care for radio spewing dialogue.
Pretty deep.
Clearly. Pretty deep.
So their favorite films include Old Boy, The Argento Suspiria, Inland Empire, and Funeral Parade of Roses.
Huh.
Interesting.
That's a pretty letterboxy user set of
Pretty
films.
letterboxy.
Yeah.
Yeah, half star to T10, half star to Dune. This person does not like
The modern
2021 movies.
No.
Here's where we can maybe see something. Have you seen Inland Empire, Sugar?
No.
No? Have you seen most of David Lynch's stuff, or just a little bit here and there?
Quite a bit.
Quite a bit. I'd be interested to know what you think, because I know Jarrett and I are definitely the minority. People fucking love Inland Empire, and neither of us liked it. And I mean, Jarrett and I, we agree sometimes. Sometimes we don't. But one thing that we can agree on is that we don't get Inland Empire. Well, I mean, we don't get why people like it so much. Or maybe I'm speaking for him. I don't get why people like it.
So I actually found a review I wrote for it in a Word document like a few weeks ago from like 2007. I was like writing stuff about movies I watched, and I think I liked it more then, but I didn't like it at all. Because the last time I tried watching it, I just couldn't get through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. Anyways, that's a tale for a different day.
For a different day, when Inland Empire joins the Criterion Collection.
And it probably eventually will.
I think it will.
But Jarrett bought 2000 and just a rock with a string attached to it, which will be my version in 20 years. Those will be the people who cover the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to be one of those weather rocks, that just hangs off of like a porch or something, and it's just like, what's the weather doing? It's like, check the rock. That'd be me. That's all I want when I go.
What?
Weather rock. You don't know about weather rock?
No.
Shit. Weather rock's good stuff.
Can't say as I do.
Weather rock is good stuff. Anyways.
Well, any final thoughts on the captain?
No.
Also, no.
No, that's that.
That's that.
All right.
That's that match.
Damn. That's another Kurosawa put to bed.
Just like us, because it's fucking midnight.
Oh,
it is.
It is not.
Well, not for you. You stay up until like 5 a.m. Normal people go to bed around this time, Jarrett.
That is a rock.
What is this rock?
I don't know.
It's weather rock. You guys don't know weather rock?
Is this a TikTok thing, RJ?
This is...
No, I'm not on TikTok. It's just a rock on a string, and it tells you what the weather is. It's weather rock.
This is some real rural stuff.
Yeah.
It's weather rock, guys. It's weather rock. Don't know what else to tell you.
After the break,
yeah,
in a Shakespearean conclusion fitting us, RJ and I are dead, and Sugarhead will continue to walk the wastes blinded somehow, because maybe RJ's an asshole and did that sometime. I don't know, but he'll carry on the legacy and say, "Hey, you ever heard about that podcast? It was a pretty good show."
Mm-hmm.